am Mexican. Thank you. Technically, I was born in the United States of America, but my soul definitely was born in Mexico. You know, my mom, very hardworking. That is the lady that has taught me so much about life and resilience and endurance. And that is the essence and spirit of my tias and my mother. So that gives you a picture of like the one half of the Ellen pie. The man on the left is my dad. Poppy is a pilot for American Airlines. So my mom is a nurse, my dad's a pilot. So I grew up with a really kind of traditional blue collar life. You go to school, you work really hard, you go to college, and then you follow this path. And this is a safe path. So sure enough, my parents, at some point in the journey, I was 9 years old, they got a divorce. I'll be honest, my entire world blew up right in front of me in a really, really real way. And I was like, okay, that means it's on me. I'm in charge. I got to push this thing forward. So I made a decision at that moment. I was like, it doesn't matter. And I'm going to find my way in the world and I'm going to be an independent, excuse my French, motherfucker. And I like really did make that decision. And I feel like I manifested it because at that moment, I turned that sort of fear into this propellant forward. And I got on my merry ways. So I know I'm going to be on my own. I know I love food. These are two truths that are my truths. Let's keep walking forward and see what else I can figure out in the world. So I just like stashed them in my pocket. These were also little moments of confidence that I earned in myself where I was like, okay, I got up from that situation and I walked forward, like notch on my confidence belt. Let's keep going in life. So when I turned 12, 13, my mom, I started to notice she had all these stacks of bills around the house and she worked as a nurse. So she was gone 12, 13 hours a day. And I was like, I could maybe write those checks for her. And she was like, sure, I'm so tired, write the checks. And that was just another notch on the confidence belt. And then my sister, you know, needed food and she was sick. She was half my age. And I was like, well, there's a Ralph's down the street. If you could get me a credit card, I could maybe go start grocery shopping. I'll just push the cart home. And now all of a sudden I was like turning all these really shitty situations, all these moments of failure in my life into opportunities to learn. And I didn't even know that's what I was doing. I was just like, I'm bored. I'm a latchkey kid. I'm at home. What can I do? And so I was like, okay, well, we've got this thing called dial up. And I'd get on to allrecipes.com and I'd be like, shepherd's pie, beef stew, bagels, like whatever I could think of. And I started cooking for my mom and my mom never said no. It was this like, I don't know, she was fostering an entrepreneur out of me and I didn't even realize it. So cut to, I'm 17 and I was like, I love food. So my mom was like, what if you go to Mexico City for a month and just, you know, take a beat? So I moved to Mexico City for a month. I ended up staying for 4 freaking years and it was, wow. I had to figure out what to do and I had to build something out of nothing. And talk about that confidence belt. When you build something out of nothing and you say, hey, I saw that in my head and then I made it come to life, there is no greater gift you can give yourself than that feeling where you're like, I did that. So with no one else but myself, I pulled this little life together and I started all these crazy jobs, as you can see on my slides here. Now, just imagine all of my friends in the United States, they were at USC, going to college, doing everything like really proper. And here I was doing all these insane things that at that time I thought it's worth it. It's worth it for the experience. And all those notches of confidence I was getting, I didn't realize at the time were the best way for me to learn grit, tenacity, resilience, showing up, being told no. This was the journey. It was weird, it was hard, it was complicated, and it was not a straight path. It literally looked like this. And we definitely hear about success stories and their nice crisp lines of perfection. And like the truth is, nobody has a line that looks like that. It is windy and messy and horrible, but I was here for it because I had my mission of getting to food. And I was like, just keep your eye on the prize. You're going to do food. Cut to, I'm 22. I have this great life in Mexico. I'm now making a ton of money. I'm living on my own. I've graduated from culinary school. I have this great boyfriend. And I'm like, is this really it? Like at 22, I like figured it out. I got it all. I was comfortable. And I think there was just something in me that said, no, there's got to be more. And in the name of discomfort and growing further, I decided to sell everything and I moved back home. I was like, okay, how am I going to get into the next chapter of my life? I want to be in food. How do I do that? Well, a friend of mine said, here's the top 10 restaurants in LA. If you go there between 2 and 4 during the week, chances are someone will give you a job. And I was like, okay, cool. It's like an audition in Mexico. I think I could do this. I'll show up and I'll sell myself to them. And I got 2 different opportunities at 2 different restaurants. But by the way, the 8 other restaurants all said no. So this is chef at Providence in the crew. Here we're wearing really terrible uniforms, just horrible. And I started working at Providence. They did not give me the job on the first day, mind you. They were like, we're not even hiring. And I said, don't worry about it. I'm in the restaurant. I thought, my pinky is in the door. I'm not walking out of here with that and just one day of experience at a 2 Michelin star restaurant. So I said, let me keep coming back. And then 2.5 weeks later, they're like, how fast can you quit your other jobs? We'd love to hire you full time. So that was like the first no that was a no at that moment that then became a yes just a little bit later. So that's how I got that job. At the same time, I actually got another job because I went to 10 restaurants. So I got a job at Lazy Ox, which was down the street. So one was super fine dining and one was like high speed, 400 covers a night. We are in here, we go to war and battle every day, and we get to the end of the night and we're just torn to shreds. What if we can make people look and feel amazing in the kitchen? Like, I'm also a runner. And the first time I started running, I went to Nike and I got a great outfit. And I was like, I'm a freaking runner now. The only thing that had changed was my own perception of myself. So I was working here at Providence. I had the idea of Hedley and Bennett aprons in my head. I didn't have the name. I didn't have sewers. I didn't have a business permit. I had nothing other than the idea. And then a couple of weeks later, my chef was like, hey, there's a girl. She's going to make aprons for us. Do you want to buy one? And I was like, oh my God, I think I manifested that. This is amazing. And so I was like, I have an apron company. I'll make you those aprons. What's she charging you and what's her turnaround? I'll do it faster and better. And he was like, sure, let's do it. Okay. I got on that train and I was like, chef, let's make this happen. And some of the best things that happened on that first experience were the foundation of how I would run the entire company. This is me with some random guys I found who were denim workers. And I was like, okay, I don't know how to do this, but let's talk through it. Chef was giving me his opinions. We were talking through the weight and the fabric and everything that aprons did. I was like, let's do the opposite. Let's make them with beautiful material, beautiful denim. Let's make them more sturdy. Let's fix the pockets. Let's adjust it. And then I turned those in and he calls me into his office and he was like, Bennett, these aprons suck. And I was like, he's gotten these aprons that looked perfect. Like when I gave them to him, they were like a little stack of gum. But I didn't know about wash testing or making sure that things don't bleed. It was bad. And he was like, they're falling apart. The straps are not working. You better fix this shit. And I was like, oh my God. And at that moment, my whole, like, talk about perception box caving onto my head. I was just like, what am I going to do? And we all have those moments where we're like, I just messed up. It's over. I can't make it through this. And I was like, you are not allowed to say that to yourself. So you pull it together and give him an answer and get it going. This now has happened 8 million times in 8 million different ways and way bigger challenges. But because I'm willing to experience the uncomfort of just resolving the issue instead of hiding from the issue, I became really good at that. So I fixed the problem. And to this day, the straps that we have, we developed from that incident that I came up with that solution. I didn't come up with it at the first round. And it's such an important lesson in our journey of failing in life. Like, this is not exclusive to me. We all fail. One of my favorite sayings is, they're not bumps in the road, they are the road. So Hedley and Bennett was born. I started showing up at the farmer's market. I'd go set up from 6 a.m. I'd break down at 2:30 and I would drive my butt over to Providence, which was 10 minutes away, and I'd clock in for service by 3. I focused on what I had and not what I didn't have. And there was a positive bent to my perspective. And again, to the perception box, it was like, I have a body that functions. I have an amazing mom who loves me and supports me. I have so much. I can do this. And all these amazing people started to join the bandwagon. It was like the Martha Stewarts and the Dave Changs of the world. And I was the girl outfitting these people again and again and again. And, people look at us now and they're like, wow, what a success. They're so amazing. I'm like, we have hit so many road bumps along the way. We had this crazy factory in downtown LA that a year in, my co-tenant, who I'd convinced to get the building with me, he signed the lease. We would pay him the rent. We got served an eviction notice in August. The Q4 Super Bowl of our company is September, October, November, December. It's like prime time when people were buying things as gifts. The landlady, who was like, okay, well, he screwed up. So if you can come up with the money, I'll give you the full lease. I almost was like, I don't know if I should. And I thought about it and I just gave her the money and I kept moving forward. And I realized that sometimes when people overthink something and they're in there and they're debating, they could have done it, made a mistake, gotten up, fixed it, and tried again and learned 3 lessons instead of just staring at the window, being like, should I do it or should I not? And every single time I've done something insane like that, I'm like, okay, I'm actually just getting really good at really terrible things. Like, I am more comfortable being really, really uncomfortable. Cut to COVID. Everybody remembers that was, talk about a comfortable with the uncomfortable time in all of our lives. I watched my entire restaurant industry come crumbling down to the ground overnight, right? First thing to shut down in Los Angeles, restaurants. And so I was walking around my factory on March 13th, 2021. And I was like, okay, I am going to, we're going to make face masks because we have fabric and I know doctors and I can call them and we'll figure this out. So overnight, we became a face mask facility at Hedley and Bennett. And in that year, 2020, we made over 1 million face masks. And this is one of my favorite sayings out of my book. You don't need a master plan. You need the guts to begin and the humility to learn when you fail. You just need to try. You just need to push. When you're afraid, just try it anyway, because you're going to get something out of it. Even if the idea doesn't work, it's going to get you a little bit forward. Count it as a notch on your confidence belt of life. Get out and do the thing. It is possible. Look at this beautiful community. I didn't lead with that because really the learnings have been in the failures, not in the NFL collab, not in our amazing team that we have now. It's been in the hardships and the horrible, horrible things I've had to go through to get to today. And I wouldn't change any of it because I've learned so much. So just keep going, keep creating. You guys got this. Thank you.